Good evening, everyone, and good Chodesh, and happy Chanukah. Hope you're having a wonderful Rosh Chodesh so far. We just welcomed it in just a few moments ago. And Chanukah is closer to being over than it is from starting, which is kind of crazy. It zooms by so fast every year. So let's learn a little. Let's get in one more idea for tonight. We spoke earlier, I believe on the second night, about the three mitzvahs that the Greeks tried to take away from us. They tried to take our observance of Shabbos away from us, our observance of Bris Milah, and our observance of Rosh Chodesh. And being that now it's Rosh Chodesh, I want to revisit this idea. The Mechilta, the Midrash, quotes the pasuk HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, Rosh Chodeshim Rishon Hu Lachem L'Chodshei Hashana, that HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, that this month will be to you. And the Midrash says Lachem, for you, to the Jewish people, Lachem, that's what Rosh Chodesh will be. The lunar calendar will be for the Jewish people, but not to the non-Jewish people. They'll have the solar calendar. And obviously, the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh and having a lunar calendar is quite essential to our being, the Jewish people. We know it's the very first mitzvah that's given to us when we leave Egypt. And it's one of the three, again, that the Greeks took away from us. So Nesivos Shalom tries to understand what's so special about this mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh. Right? Shabbos and Milah, it's easy to understand why those mitzvahs the Greeks want to take away from us. Shabbos, Shabbat Tzirayis is Bris Olam, Beinu Ve'Bnei Yisrael. Right? It's a connection, it's a bris, it's a covenant. So they want to take that away, want to disconnect us from Rabbona Shalom, from Hashem. And Bris Milah is also obviously a bris, it's a covenant in itself. But why Rosh Chodesh? Why is Rosh Chodesh in that same ballgame? So the Nesivos Shalom directs our attention to a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Perek Daled, the 4th chapter, the 16th Mishnah. Rabbi Yaakov Omer. Rabbi Yaakov said, Ha'olam hazeh doma leprosdor bifnei ha'olam haba. That this world is like a vestibule, it's like a hallway before the next world, before the world to come. You have to prepare yourself in the vestibule, you have to prepare yourself in this world, make this world into a hallway where you're fully prepared and ready. You're muchan to enter the truckling, to enter the banquet hall, which is the next world. And that's our hashkafa, that's our outlook on the world as Jews. That nothing in this world is permanent, that we're simply passing through. They tell stories of tzaddikim. I think the story of the Chavetz Chaim. He lived in a one-bedroom, the most simple apartment. He had a tiny little suitcase. He said he's waiting for Mashiach every day. He's ready to go. But this world is simply a corridor to the next world. And so the Nesivos Shalom explains, based on Midrashim and Chazal, is that is so similar to the moon. The moon is also merely a reflection. But the moon has no light on its own. Has no power on its own. It just reflects the light of something else. This world is not a permanent destination. We're just passing through it. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, we know that it comes and it goes, but we all understand that the moon, it's permanently there. We know it's just an illusion, that we're only seeing more or less of it, but it has no real source itself, just like this world has no source itself. This world is just a prosdor, just a corridor for the world to come. And it's an attitude we have to adopt. It's an attitude we have to adopt both when we find ourselves chasing material possessions, to realize that that's not what we're here to do, that we're just passing through this world. And it's also an attitude to help us weather the storm. We're just passing through this world. It's not our final destination. So if it's turbulent, that's okay. I never heard anyone tell me that their whole vacation was ruined because of a turbulent airplane ride. It might not have been as smooth an airplane ride as they would have liked. They would have wished it would have been smoother sailing, but it never ruined anyone's vacation. So too, a turbulent life. We obviously wish for shalom. We wish for peace. We wish for it to be as easy as possible. But if it's not, we understand that that's not the ikar. It's not the main point. And that was the Greeks were trying to take away from us. The Greeks realized our secret to riding out the turbulence of this world was our steadfast connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem. And our acceptance of the fact that the world is just a hallway, it's just a prosdor, as representative by our focus on the moon. Building our lives around a lunar calendar, realizing that just as the moon has nothing of its own, this world has nothing of its own, it's just helping us get to the next one, to the main goal. It's preparing us. We work hard here, so we'll reap the benefit somewhere else in the next world. And the Greeks wanted us to leave behind God. They wanted to break off that connection. They wanted to sever our bris, our connection. That's why they wanted to cut off bris milah, literally our covenant. They want to cut off Shabbos, which is Bris olam beinu ve'en b'nei Yisrael, our covenant between us and God, declaring the fact that God made the world, that God is constantly involved in the world. And that's also why the one cut off Rosh Chodesh, to separate us from this concept that we're just passing through this world. So let's fight back against that idea. Let's celebrate Rosh Chodesh. Let's commit to this idea that the world we're simply passing through. And that extra dollar, that extra item, perhaps someone who doesn't have it could use it better. Perhaps we could use it better by giving it to someone else. Could build our zchuyos, our spiritual merits, by giving more and taking less. And we could celebrate Chanukah by focusing on the eternal, on the flame, and realizing that the beauty of this world is there for us to enjoy. We shouldn't completely ignore it, but it's not our focus. We're here to work hard, to improve ourselves, to do mitzvahs, to learn Torah, to prepare ourselves for beautiful lives in the next world. Hopefully that's a message that can stick with us in this Rosh Chodesh and this Chanukah. Chanukah Sameach.